Hello, this is Professor Mariah Evans. I am the college-wide coordinating advisor for Phi Theta Kappa at Hillsborough Community College. I am also the lead advisor for the Alpha Beta Beta chapter, which is the chapter that is at the Ybor City campus. I will be your mistress of ceremonies for the first ever virtual induction ceremony ever held at Hillsborough Community College. I will tell you that it is much more difficult to do this alone than it is to speak in front of an audience of 200 people. Tonight, I would like to tell you that I have the full participation of every one of our campus presidents, as well as our college president, Dr. Ken Atwater. And he will be providing a statement for us, welcoming you into this first ever virtual induction ceremony.
Hi everyone, my name is Dustin Limke. I'm the Dean of Math and Sciences on the Dale Mabry campus. And I'm just here today to congratulate you on joining PTK, on your induction into this great organization. And I just want to say that I appreciate that you keep pushing forward in your college education. You know, I think a lot of people get mixed up about what college is all about. They think it's only about how smart you are and intelligence. And I think they take it as that innate ability that people have. But I would define college and intelligence much more broadly. It's also about learning how to think. It's about problem solving. It's about being creative in crazy situations. It's about starting what you finished and moving forward. And I even think it's about discovering yourself. So you are clearly the type of students that are wanting to do all those things, and I really appreciate that. I just want to give a couple of words of advice during this pandemic and while you're pushing through for your education. And some of this isn't advice that I would have given anybody a year or two ago, although we probably should have, but it's made these things much more real to me in my own life too. Number one, I know you're thinking about your next paper. I know you're thinking about hitting the books and meeting that Canvas deadline of 11:59 at night. I would also encourage you to make sure that you go outside. Thank goodness we live in Florida. Cool weather has arrived. But this, I'm glad I don't live in, one of those northern states where they're all thinking about spending time inside. Go outside. And never before have I loved our public parks more than I do now. Every day I walk either on the river walk in downtown Tampa or my favorite parks, the Perry Harvey Senior Park. I'm here on the Del Mabry campus often after work. There are two parks that I go to. One is called the Al Lopez Park. It's really nearby. Great walking trails, one around a pond, one with just lots of other people and their dogs out there taking a walk. And I also love a place called Cypress Point Park. It's on a tiny little beach. It's not the real beach, I don't think, but when I go there for 15 minutes, I get re-energized and I see the world in a new place. So we'll look for ways to get outside and re-energize yourself. There's studies that show that you go outside, take a break, and you come back and you can be more focused on your work. Second thing I would remind you is find some friends. Be sure that you're connecting with your friends, that you're spending time with your friends. I can't tell you, of course, this is a family member, my sister, but she and I have become, it has gone way beyond that she's my sister. We're friends too. And the other day, last Sunday, we talked on the phone and I looked down when we were finished and we talked for 2 hours and I've needed that. It's an outlet to share my angst, to get ideas, but also to listen and care about somebody else. So it's not just taking care of yourself, it's taking care of those friends that are around you. So be sure that you're connecting with other humans in this time where it's so easy for us to get isolated. The last little bit of advice I would give you, and I'm going to sound like a dean and a college administrator, is don't forget that there are important college resources for you. You're not in this alone. You don't just have to sit at home and wonder how to work on something. Don't forget, we've got academic success centers, and they're both, you can do things on campus, but also they're doing most of their work online. So you can talk to a tutor and work through problems online. Somebody's ready to help you with that. Don't forget your professors. They're an incredible wealth of knowledge. They've got office hours that they're meeting not in their office right now, but they're meeting online with students. They have great perception, and they can help you out and show you what's really going on in your coursework and give you some really great advice for that. I would recommend the library. The library knows how to connect you to all of these resources, and they'll point you toward all those resources. These are people that are paid. That's their whole point of existence, is to connect students with knowledge and information. They get really excited about it. So don't forget that there's all these amazing resources. I just want to end with a little quote by a guy named Leo Babuta. He was talking about self-determination and self-discipline when he said this: have a powerful reason. When things get difficult, because it sounds good or to look good, aren't going to cut it. Start tiny with a simple but unbreakable promise to yourself to do one small thing every day. Such good advice, I think, that if you're going to college just to get, a piece of paper up on the wall, at some point you're going to get frustrated. Why are you in college? What's pushing you? Why do you get out of bed every day? And once you determine that purpose, decide that every day you're going to do one little bit. Hey, I've done this before, where I'm writing a paper, and I get out a piece of paper, and I put my name and the title on it. And then I say, that's all I can do today. And the next day, I go find 2 resources at the library. I don't even read them. The next day, maybe I open one of the resources. And so just promise yourself to do one small step every day and keep pushing forward one bit at a time. Congratulations, we're proud of you. Thanks for being the kind of students that even in the midst of a pandemic, that your education is important to you and keeps taking one step further every day.
Brandon Campus, Alpha Lambda Alpha, advisors, and chapter officers, followed by the 2020 Alpha Lambda Alpha Phi Theta Kappa inductees. The Del Mabry Campus, advisors, and chapter officers. The Del Mabry Campus is Phi Chi. What will follow will be the 2020 inductees into the Phi Chi chapter of Phi Theta Kappa. Platte City Campus, advisors, and chapter officers. Alpha, Gamma, Theta. What you will see next is the list of the 2020 inductees of the Alpha, Gamma, Theta chapter of Phi Theta Kappa. South Shore Campus advisors and chapter officers. Beta, Sigma, Alpha. What you will see next will be the 2020 inductees into the Beta, Sigma, Alpha chapter of Phi Theta Kappa. This is our roll call intended to entertain y'all. This hip is ice cold. We're representing that blue and gold. Silent, wildin', coming from Ybor City. We're Alpha, Theta, Beta. We want to kiss ourselves. We're so pretty. We're too hot. Oh man. Call police and a fireman. We're too hot. Oh man. They could drag and want to retire, man. We're too hot. Oh man. Say our name, you know who we are. We're too hot. Oh man. And we're bad about that studying. Break it down. PTK, hallelujah. Whoo. PTK, hallelujah. Whoo. PTK, hallelujah. And Alpha Beta Beta's gonna give it to ya. And Alpha Beta Beta's gonna give it to ya. And Alpha Beta Beta's gonna give it to ya. It's Friday night, we're in the spot. Don't believe us, just watch. Woo! be the advantage to being the mistress of ceremonies and the lead advisor to Alpha Beta Beta. So I am so extremely proud of our chapter, and this was our roll call, and this is something that we do to introduce our chapter at all of our Florida regional events. What will follow will be the names of the Alpha Beta Beta Chapter 2020 inductees into Phi Theta Kappa at HCC. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you our guest speaker for our induction ceremony. This is Big Mike the Messenger.
All right. So, hey, everybody. One, congratulations on making it to PTK. It's going to be an amazing experience for you in life. You want to make sure you go through as many experiences as you can. Here's why. Because if you cheat yourself of experiences, then you're going to cheat yourself of lessons. But you're going to get through these lessons at some point in life anyway. So I've had a chance to do some research on PTK, right? And one of the things that I begin to really pay attention to is it's a culture. It's one of these cultures when you sit back and you process and realize that there's a formula on how everybody who became successful. And it based off of really 4 pillars. And fortunately, I don't have to come up with these pillars. PTK already came up with. The first one is going to be scholarship. When you're learning, the thing that you develop most is what you learn the most of. So whatever your respective field is in, that's what you want to make sure you put a lot of your time into, because that's one of the ways you're going to serve people. Typically, I'm a speaker, so I'm in the information industry, so I read a lot. People don't understand. I read 10 hours a week, and it seems weird, but I get all my speeches off of information, right? So I'm in the information age. But that's my niche. So my niche is being able to grab information, make sure I can edify it, and put it to a space where people can apply it to their regular life. Real simple, right? So from that, you have to be a scholar. You have to be smart. Nobody follows anybody that's not smart. We've always been in the industry. Well, the world is based off of content, whether it's DNA content or whatever. Everything is information based. So for you, if you want people to value you, the more information you have, the more they'll spend on you. So you can increase your value as a person by constantly investing into yourself mentally. So that's one. The second one is fellowship. You always want to be around like-minded people. And if there's anything that you don't know or that you don't understand, find somebody smarter than you. That's really my other specialty. Is I'm good at finding people smarter than me. I'm never the smartest person in the room, so it works for me. So I can always get fed off of people around me, and that's what you want. You want to be around people that can serve you. And that way, if you're having a hard time pouring into yourself, at least you have a collaborative group of people around you who can pour into you. So fellowship is the second one. The third one is going to be leadership. So I noticed throughout this part, we've had some, I've got a chance to have a few conversations with some of the presidents, and you'll see that that's an area that you struggle in. Well, I'll tell you a great part about leadership. Leadership is all about service. So if people don't feel like you're serving them, then they're not going to really pay much attention to it. In fact, every relationship that you've been in has been a service relationship. The reason why most of us love our mom so much is because she was the first person to serve us once we come out of the womb. She was the first person to feed us. Right? She carried us for 9 months. She fed us even after we first came into the planet. So hence why most kids be like, mommy, 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 and not daddy, because daddy didn't carry it. Daddy wasn't the first person who can naturally feed them from what he had. So that's the third one. So the third one is leadership. So and then the fourth one is service. I don't know if y'all have been paying attention to the climate of the world, but we really do need people like you to come in and help serve. I mean, I'm still serving and I do my part, but it is great and it is amazing when we can get a chance to see a younger generation come in and begin to serve. And that is what it's all about. If you think about every great teacher or every person that shows greatness in life, their greatness is based off of service. Whether it's an athlete from Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, he was an entertainer. He could put points on the board, but he was an entertainer. Or if you want to go to Michael Jackson, he was able to feed you on a spiritual level. Like, he was able to connect. He was able to get you to shift your emotions and get you to shift your thought process, which is why they consider him the greatest artist that the world have ever seen. It's all about service. So, and the purpose of life is to develop your gifts and talents and use your gifts and talents to serve others. And fortunately, PTK has found those pillars. They found the pillar of being a scholar, which is making sure that you feed yourself. Feed yourself as much information as you can. Fellowship. If this is something that you don't know, make sure you find out who else knows that information, and whatever you can't feed yourself, they'll feed you. And make sure that you become a leader, because it doesn't matter how much information you know if you can't lead somebody, or if you can't serve somebody in a capacity to where you can lead them to get to a different destination, then they won't see value in you. And the fourth one is definitely service, because at the end of the day, the purpose of life is to develop your gifts and talents and use your gifts and talents to serve others. And that's pretty much my message for you today. Oh, and one more thing, just trust the process. I know it's hard right now, as far as grabbing students and having students come into your campus, or come into PTK. But once they get a chance to see the opportunities that come with it, then they'll begin to understand why it has so much value to it. And when I was in college, I wish I would have been in PTK, but I was kind of like a knucklehead when I was in college. So, but at the end of the day, I still keep those same principles now. I do very well in life. I don't struggle in life in any space because of these same four pillars. That once I found out that these were the four pillars, that's what I began to follow. So that's my message. I am Big Mike the Messenger. We don't follow standards, we set them, and the purpose and goal is to help build heaven on earth. Thank you.
Preamble of Phi Theta Kappa reads that academic excellence among community and junior college students be nurtured, that opportunity may be provided for leadership training, that intellectual climate may be promoted for an interchange of ideas and ideals, and that scholars may be imbued with the desire for continuing education. We dedicate ourselves as fellows of Phi Theta Kappa. Among us, membership is a privilege earned by qualification, honor, and service. In the conduct of our activities, truth shall be our quest, diligence our staff, and achievement our purpose. Scholarship, leadership, fellowship, and service are the hallmarks of Phi Theta Kappa.
And fellow Phi Theta Kappa members, I am pleased to present to you these candidates for membership in our honor society. These students have fulfilled all requirements for membership and have been selected because they have chosen scholarship, leadership, service, and fellowship as their hallmarks. I recommend them for acceptance into Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society.
To be inducted into a scholarly fellowship which embraces community colleges, not only of our own state, but of the nation and the world. This fellowship is Phi Theta Kappa. After induction, you will find among the members an atmosphere of scholarship to which you must give of yourself in order that the organization may be meaningful to you. John Quincy Adams once said, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, do more, and become more, you are a leader." A torch, symbolic of knowledge, which is the servant of wisdom, which dwells with prudence and leads the way of righteousness in the midst of our paths of judgment.
Typifying purity and beauty of life, with its buds signifying intellectual associations, I give you this rose as a symbol of our newly formed intellectual friendship.
Phi Theta Kappa consists of a golden slash, keyed at the top and bottom. The golden field at the estuary of her coat of arms refers to the golden opportunities that abound for society members to evidence their culture and perform good work. Since gold is the most noble metal, it shall have a further significance to our society, for it shall represent the nobility attained by those who achieve intellectual leadership. Across the flag, there is a black band. It represents the three ideas which bind us together, and the cultural self-control, which is the necessary foundation for true wisdom, aspiration, and purity. Signing through the black animal's background are three Greek letters, which are the initials of the Greek words meaning wisdom, aspiration, and purity. Behind the band, there is a wreath, on the other side composed of oak leaves, and on the other, laurel. The oak leaves stand for stability and strength of character, as symbolized by the sturdy oak. The graceful curling leaves of the laurel signify achievement and success, all attributes of membership in our society. Above the band is the representation of the head of Athena, a symbol of learning. In the base appear the Greek letters meaning light, for the light of knowledge and learning of the common ideas for members of the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society.
Although this is a virtual induction, I am going to ask that wherever you are right now, for the 2020 Phi Theta Kappa inductees of Hillsborough Community College to please stand. You have heard from each of our chapter presidents about the symbols that represent Phi Theta Kappa. You have learned our preamble, and you have found out what Phi Theta Kappa stands for. Right now, I would like for you to raise your left hand and place your right hand over your heart and repeat after me as you take the pledge. I, state your name, do solemnly promise to uphold the standards of Phi Theta Kappa and to maintain by honest and independent endeavor the ideals of scholarship for which this organization stands. Thank you and congratulations. Now, it has been such a pleasure, but now it is time for us to see a quote that each of the campus presidents wanted to share with you. You are the college. Student learners have many choices, and student learners have many voices. They are young, they are old. They are sometimes confused. The last thing they need is to be abused. What to say, they may not know. It is your job to guide and to show. So when students come to HCC seeking knowledge, always remember you are the college. Author unknown.
My name is Keith Berry, and I'm the Dean of Academic Affairs at the Ybor City campus. I'd like to take a moment to thank you all for sharing your time with our new Phi Theta Kappa inductees. As we close our program, I would like to remind you of the 4 hallmarks that PTK abides by as an organization. Scholarship is obviously the first pillar of a Phi Theta Kappa. You must have a 3.5 GPA or higher and maintain those standards in all of your academic pursuits. Fellowship is another important tenet of this fabulous organization. There are Phi Theta Kappans around the world, and if you ever attend a PTK convention, you will see a vast array of young scholars coming together to share in one purpose. As the Bible suggests, we are all members of one body. We do not own each other, but we can be responsible to each other. There are many other religious and secular societies that suggest the same thing. And PTK is an organization that is responsive to each other and the communities in which we live and work. I know because we have an award-winning chapter at HCC. The culmination of these efforts that we've mentioned thus far creates leaders. Leaders are not perfect, but leaders exhibit behavior that involves respect, modesty, humility, and a sense of higher purpose than oneself. George Washington felt that every action done in a company ought to be with some sign of respect for those that are not present. Leadership is a valued commodity at most colleges and universities. And to that end, there are many colleges that offer scholarships to PTK members who hold leadership positions within their chapters. The final pillar involves service. What good is it to have such talented individuals if they do not share their sense of purpose through service? To live is to serve and to be of service to others. To that end, the Alpha Beta Beta chapter of the Ybor City campus is an award-winning service chapter. It has been a remarkable time to share with all of our inductees the promise that PTK affords. Thank you.
Due to the fact that this is a virtual induction ceremony, we have the opportunity to provide for you something unique. Under normal circumstances, we wouldn't have the opportunity for the inductees to individually show their appreciation to their family or friends. However, because of the pandemic and because this is a virtual event, I hope that you guys enjoy as the inductees express their gratitude and appreciation to their family members and their loved ones who helped them thus far.